The days when a teacher went into class armed with nothing more than a stick of chalk and a blackboard, well, they're long gone. It's the whiteboard that rules these days. It's an essential piece of equipment which is constantly evolving and improving, making an attractive item for the ed tech companies.
So are customers looking for the best quality technology, or are they looking for bargain prices? As I found out, there were some interesting answers.
第一家做电子白板是 Smart 加拿大的，他们大概做了20几年了吧。然后从原来开始，因为原来学校你需要用的是普通的白板或黑板，但是从10年前开始，很多学校开始慢慢的把电子白板变成一种标准的设备，然后到现在，电子白板基本上已经在所有的学校里面都可以看得到了，甚至每一个学校每一个教室它都会有一套的电子白板，而且它还在不断的这种更新换代。
我们觉得，反正就在海外市场呢，我们会比较有优势。为什么？因为从客户来讲的话，海外的客户比较理性，他比如选择产品是吧？他可能就是说不一定就是说选价格最低的，他确实觉得你产品好，服务好，他一直跟你在长期合作。但国内不一样，国内是什么东西，它是杀价的啊，你好东西都卖不出价格来。所以说有时候说国内我们说。你要买一颗好一点的螺丝钉都买不到，为什么买不到？因为你那个价格稍微贵一点点就没人要，大家都是说为了去降成本，就是生产一个最适的产品。
Our main goal is to look for a Chinese company because it's got good quality, it's got a good response, and especially it's got a good price. And that's one thing that's very important nowadays in the actual moment of crisis. You can compare a very good product of an actual known brand such as Smart or Promethean, and you can take IQ Board's equivalent board, and you do the comparison and you've got the same product, the same quality, but what's really important, you got a lower price, and that wins. It's simple.
It's the quality of what you have to offer that determines whether people will want to talk to you and buy what you have. So it's a very easy competition-based system. If you're good, you'll want to come back because you'll have done business. If you haven't, you won't. But I think there is an interesting perception. Yes, China is known for being able to produce lots of products and at relatively low price. But of course, in China, this is changing. You are going up the scale in terms of the quality of what you're offering. And that is changing what we see being presented by Chinese companies in exhibitions around the world. And that's a good and positive thing.
中国产品是这样的，性价比肯定是中国产品的第一个优势。然后第二个呢，其实中国的厂商现在更注重于说，怎么样去做 cost down， 怎么样去把最便宜的东西，然后跟国外的产品具有这种同质化的东西卖给国外的买家。
技术人员的这些工资，你跟欧洲这边的比，还是要差很远的，是吧？我们在国内可能就是说，如果他们2万块钱的工资人民币啊，这是人民币。但是如果是在英国，它可能就不是这样的。另外一个就是说，我们自己啊，像欧洲这边的企业，可能员工可能生活的都很舒服，是吧？但是我们企业可能这些员工都是比较努力的，是吧？这个效率会比他们更高，是吧？这就是说，我们总体来说，成本会比他们更有优势，是吧？
Plenty of Chinese companies already have a large chunk of the market in Asia, in countries that they're familiar with, and which in some cases, of course, like Taiwan, they share a common language. But even they realise that to expand their business, they'll need to at least explore the possibilities of taking their products into major markets like Europe and the USA.
One such company is Linji Software, based in Shanghai and one of Asia's biggest provider of visual language labs and e-learning platforms. It's a company that will be very familiar to people in China, Taiwan, and the rest of the Chinese-speaking world.
But outside Asia, Linja Software is a name that barely registers. That could all be about to change as the company takes its first steps into markets which are culturally quite different to what they've been used to. Emma asked them about their strategy and discovered that Linja are taking the long view.
在中国买软件买语音室一个大学要采购语音室买硬件的语音室的话呢，他们会有很多的选择。那买软件基本上就是我们是这样子。我们在台湾的话呢，大概有超过50%的市场占有率。在东南亚，比如说像马来西亚和新加坡一些少数的一些东南亚国家，我们有一些销售。但是在美洲、北美、南美和欧洲，甚至于中东、非洲，我们都是完全是空白。所以我们觉得呢，我们以前基本上都是在华语圈，就是比如马来西亚那边也都是讲中文。我们觉得呢，实际上跨文化的这种销售我们还没有尝试过。作为一家软件公司，你不可以把你的市场完全依赖于中国，因为软件本身没有一个很低的一个复制成本，它的复制成本非常低。你的一个公司的一个发展完全取决于你的市场有多大，可以说你有10倍的市场，你的软件的复制还是这么多，所以呢，我们认为呢，一个中国的公司，特别是软件公司，必须要把自己的市场建立在全世界，就是你不可以仅仅依靠中国来去求发展。其实我们对欧洲甚至于国外的一些教育，我们了解的信息并不很多。我们几乎是有一点摸着石头过河来英国主要的一个感觉就是什么呢？就是我们所知道的，就是欧洲的一些有名的一些和我们同行业的厂商在中国也有销售但是我们相信在中国市场上我们能够赢他们。那我们在想，也许我们在海外市场上我们也可以赢。首先呢，我们希望找到一些合作伙伴然后大家一起来合作。我们在中国也是用这样的一种模式，我们在中国各个省都会有很多的合作伙伴，他们会去解决一些学校的一些安装维护的问题。我们往往是我们只需要提供软件。在欧洲，我们也希望用这样的模式。我相信这是一个过程。某种意义上，我们不着急。我们觉得我们做全球市场的一个工作，并不是1年可以完成的，可能会花5到10年。在我们这个行业呢，现在正处在一个历史性的一个转折点上面。它可能和以前的一个时代不同。就是很多我们这个行业里的其他公司，包括欧洲的公司，实际上他们面临的一些市场的一些变革的一些挑战，所以在这个时候比较适合超车。我们会遇到一些公司本地的一些代理商，他们其实以前可能是做其他的公司，比如欧洲的公司的产品，他看到我们的产品以后，他们觉得非常感兴趣。实际上他们也面临着一些学校的一些实际的一些需求的压力，因为旧的产品实际上已经不太满足现在的一个发展方向，所以他们也在找新的产品，对我们来说是个很好的时机，但是我认为这过程当中的确是觉得有很多那种文化的差别。就打个比方说，在我们中国一个语音室可能会有60个学生，而在欧洲可能只有20个学生。
One of the biggest names in personal computing, the Chinese company Lenovo, came to world attention a few years back when they bought IBM's PC business.
There was a time when Made in China may have put off potential customers in Western countries. But Lenovo's success has helped to change perceptions about the quality and resilience of Chinese products.
We're very well known within, if you asked anybody who works in IT in the corporate world, absolutely they know Lenovo. We have about 25% market share in terms of corporate notebooks here. But until, obviously the consumer part is a big part of the market, but nevertheless that's a very fast growing part of our business. As you may know, we've introduced some very exciting consumer products over the last year or two. So today we have about 10% market share overall in the UK. I think that the real difference between Lenovo and some of our competitors is that we are a truly global company. We have the heritage that comes from the Legend background, the Legend business, and we have the IBM heritage as well. And those things together mean that we are, I think, much more of a global player. So if you think about companies like, some of our competitors, they may be strong in the consumer space, or they may have, some have come from an IT background, like some of the American companies, whereas others have come from a consumer electronics background. I think the difference with us really is that we have a bit of both. Personally, I don't really feel that I work for a Chinese company, although obviously we have dealings with our head office in China, and we take customers to show them the factories and so on. One of the things I find very exciting about Lenovo is that, I talk to colleagues in China, but equally I talk to colleagues in America. I talk to colleagues from all around the world. We're open 24/7. We communicate by email and video conferencing and so on. So it doesn't matter where we are really. We can still do business together. Obviously, we have a lot of design and manufacturing capability in China. We also have our R&D is in America. It's in Japan as well. So again, it's the global nature. Where it's best to design certain parts of the product, so we don't just rely on the Chinese part. Although that's clearly, that's our base. That's where most of the products are manufactured in China, actually, because it's very, very efficient. Our productivity is very, very high, and we produce very good quality products because particularly when you look at the business products, the ThinkPad, for example, what people think about ThinkPad is they think reliability, robustness, a product that won't let you down. Because for all of us these days, our PC is mission critical, really. Many of us can't work without our PC. So my corporate customers, whether it's in a bank or whether it's in a school, it has to keep working. And that's what Lenovo really delivers. The quality that comes from our products that are made in China is really first-class products.
前几年我们遇到最大的障碍就是，其实欧洲人他们对品牌的意识还是蛮强的。所以作为一个新兴的品牌，而且又是 Made in China， 大家并不是很看好。然后我们也花了很长的时间让客户去认同我们的品牌。
最大的一个就是说这个困难呢，就是说，因为跟我们欧洲可能有些客户，他们可能对中国的产品还不是说特别了解哈，总认为中国的产品质量不是很好，是吧？那这个可能就是要有个过程，我们也是通过他们慢慢使用，是吧？确实，因为中国就是说有很多情况下，就是我们也觉得可能就是中国的一些产品也是良莠不齐的，特别是有些不好的产品，可能就是说把我们这个信誉给损坏了，是吧？但是像我们这些产品属于一个高技术的产品，就是说我们自己还是说通过我们自己产品这个品牌通过客户的使用，是吧？让他们慢慢能够有这种认知，觉得我们产品也还是不错的，大概是这样的。
And that's all for part one of Business World. After the break, Emma goes back to school to see learning technology in action.
And Nick will be talking to our special guest, Matt Britland, director of the education consultancy Realize Learning, to see what the future holds for the edtech sector.
Welcome back to Business World's look at education technology. Now, Emma, you recently visited a school in Margate, that's in the county of Kent. You went along there to see pupils using learning technology in the classroom. What did you discover there?
Yes, Nick, I went to Hudson Technology College and I spoke to Nikki Madams, and who describes herself as a geeky ICT teacher. In fact, she is an advanced skills teacher in computing. She has her own blog, interactiveclassroom.net, where she writes about technology issues. And I first spoke to her about the changes she'd seen in the classroom since she was at school.
From when I was at school, classrooms have changed a fair amount. I've been out of school for about 12 years, and this is my old school actually. I went to this school as well. This used to be a science room and now it's a computer lab. And a lot of more rooms have now turned into computer rooms than they used to be. And we used to have to share computers. There was enough computers for half the children in the class when I was at school. So one week you'd get to have a go on a computer and the next week your partner would have a go. So you didn't get so much access to the technology. Whereas now, most of the students get their own computer in a class, and you've only normally got a few students that need to share in some of the bigger classes. The way technology's changed since I've been in education is amazing, really. With the computing side of things, I think I've seen the most changes. I'm an ICT teacher, so obviously we have the upgrades of software which come with the job, but when I first started the programming aspect of the ICT curriculum, it was basically you could program a set of traffic lights and you could tell them to come on or off, and it was through flowcharts, which did get basic concepts across, but it was really quite dull for my students. Now we have tools such as Kodu and Scratch as well, which is another visual programming language that enables them to program their own games, which is a lot more exciting than the first scenario, definitely. Kodu is a visual programming language. It enables children to create their own games and stories or interactive stories by selecting the blocks of code and putting them together. It's all very visual, so it's easy for anyone to understand, and it's based on conditions and actions. So you have when events, so when an event occurs, react to it in some way, and that's how you program it.